Today we are going to learn how to evaluate expressions. Your essential question is simply that. How do I evaluate expressions? First, we need to know that the word evaluate is another way to say solve, find the answer. Put it in simplest form, get me down to the single number that I should have. To evaluate an algebraic expression, you have to substitute a number for each variable and perform the arithmetic that is involved, following the order of operations. You cannot solve this if you do not have a number to substitute. It would just be combining the like terms as we've done already in the past. So, in this case, what I'm going to know is that I have values over here for my variables. I am told that I have m equal to 7, r equals 8, and t equals 2. I come down to my very first problem and I notice that I have the variable m. I notice that the m and the 5 are right next to each other, and I remember mathematically that means to multiply. So really what I have here is 5 times m. If I go back up to the top, I see that m equals 7, so I'm going to substitute in that 7 for m and finish writing the equation. Now I need to go back and remember that I have to use order of operations, which most of you remember as PEMDAS. I have to remember how to move left to right throughout the problem as well. As I evaluate and look at this, I notice that there's multiplying, so I'm going to complete that multiplying first and rewrite the entire problem because they will just continue to get larger. I am then going to look and say that I have to subtract, and upon subtracting, I'm going to get 29. Your teacher may require you to try and evaluate your work, go back and just double check. In the future, we're going to be able to complete a check on this. At this point, we cannot. Let's look at the next problem. In the next problem, I have two different variables. I have m, which we just used in the last problem expression, and I also have t. I know that t is 2 because I was told already that t equals 2, so I'm going to put the 2 in for the t. I'm going to drop down that plus sign that's in front of it. I know that this m right here is 7 because we did that already, and that this 4 is going to be in front of it. It is very important to remember that that 4 and that m were multiplying, so that means the 4 and the 7 are multiplying. Now again, I have to go back and follow the order of operations that we already talked about. And for this problem, that means multiplying 4 times 7 first, which gives me a 28. And then I'm just going to drop down that 2. Finally, I go through to finish solving, and I realize that that number added together is 30. Excuse me. I am going to just quickly here copy these down. M equals 7, R equals 8, T equals 2. And I'm going to bring them down here so we can solve this next set. All right, so these were the values again that we were given up at the top. I know that this one now has an R, and that R was 8. It also has a T, and that T was 2. So here on the top where the R is, I'm going to put an 8. And then where the T is, I'm going to put a 2. This is one simple step. 8 divided by 2 is 4. I am then going to move to the next problem. This next problem I have MT, which is M times T. The M is 7, the T is 2. 7 times 2 is 14. Excuse me again. You may have to write a word phrase for these. When I write a word phrase for these, it's going to be something such as 7 plus Z. 7 more than a number, This might be 4.5 times n, the product of 4.5 and n, the product of a number and 4.5. You might have c minus 3, 3 less than a number, something along those lines. We are now going to move into writing an expression and possibly solving it with some more information. A phone company charges $50 per month plus a $25 activation fee. Look for this word per month. If it's $50 per month, that means it's $50 for every month there is. At 1 month, it would be 50. At 3 months, it would be 150. I know that I'm multiplying when I do that, so that's going to be a 50 times m. I do have to pay this activation fee. I only have to pay the activation fee once, because once they set it up, it's done. So I need to add on this one-time fee of $25. Once I do that, that's all I need to do. Now, down here it says, well, what if you had your service for 12 months? Well, I know that it cost me $50 per month and that I had to pay that activation fee, I believe it was $25, of $25. So what do I know now? Now I know that m equals 12. So I have to go back and take that 12 and put it in for this m. Remember, this does not stand for 5,012. It stands for 50 times 12. And then I'm going to add 25 onto that. When I get this answer, oh my goodness, I have to do some math in my head, 500, 625, this would be 600, then plus 25. So I would realize at the end of a year, I would have paid $625 for this service. Writing and evaluating expressions is really as simple as that. Just pay attention to the details. Here's the last one for today. You and your 3 friends plan a surprise party. Each of you contribute the same amount for money for the food. Write an expression. Here's where you have to be careful. It is you and your 3 friends. So there are 4 of you total. 4 of you times the same amount of money is going to equal how much you have. If I know that every single person contributed $4.50, I know that I have to take the 4 people times $4.50. I know then that that would give us a total of $18 to spend on food. If you have a formula given to you, then just plug in what you know. We're told that the base is 15, the height is 7.5, B stands for base, H stands for height. Plug it in and solve. In summary, just make sure that you are taking your time, reading the problem carefully, getting all the key details that you need to get in order to solve it appropriately, and that you multiply